It's wonderful to be here live on Helium page and with all our audiences. And welcome to Dr. Aditya ji for being here with us today. It's really
Thank you.
a very overwhelming experience for me. I'm really happy to have you here. Before I introduce you, I'm going to be just talking a little bit about Helium, what Helium is about, and also what we've done so far, and of course, what our journey ahead is, and then, of course, introducing what we are here to talk about this evening. So I want to just share with all of you that Helium was born in the year 2018 in December. So we're exactly 2 years old today. And I'm
Congratulations.
very happy to introduce this Helium Talk series, which, has come about in a very beautiful way. I was planning to do something with Helium for some time. And, I had decided that I would do these interviews. And then this entire beautiful thing with Ananda Sangha came about in a very very ordained way, I would say. So I'm really delighted to have you here today, Dr. Aditya Gaitri. And Helium has come a long way. 2 years we have curated many programs for our Malacca Spice employees. We did a research project with about 28 of our employees where we ran courses in positive psychology and in uh, meditation with with emotional well-being sessions and also some physical exercises, etc. And we had a wonderful outcome from that research project. We got almost an 80% increase in health and happiness when we ran these wellness programs. So when we did this program, we decided to take these type of curated programs out to the community as well. So we started running programs for corporates and for institutions and also for the community. I was doing meditation sessions free of charge at our Malacca restaurant. Upstairs we have a space, so I used to run meditation sessions. And through COVID, we have run meditation sessions for our audiences. And today, I'm delighted to say that we are starting off our Helium Talk series, and today we have Dr. Aditya Gaitji from Ananda Sangha, a very well-known organization, worldwide organization. And Dr. Aditya Gaitji is the director of Ananda Sangha's work in Pune. He is inspired to serve the helpless and needy in medical care. He has trained as a rural surgeon and has conducted medical camps for poor in villages and in disaster relief situations. He later on found his calling in the teachings of yoga and meditation. He is an avid advocate of integrated preventive wellness and co founded a wellness initiative with his doctor friend called Living Wisely. He shares yoga and meditation practices for stress relief, motivational sessions of leadership and teamwork, and he has spoken in Ananda's communities across the world. He is today going to talk to us about a very special event that they are spearheading from Pune. So we will come to that soon. But before that, Aditya ji, I want you to tell us something a little bit about what Ananda Sangha is. What is this Ananda Sangha? And what is the purpose of Ananda Sangha? And what is your role that you play in Ananda Sangha?
Well, thank you, Amrita and Darren, first of all, and a very good evening to everybody out there. It's really nice to be on this platform sharing with everyone. So, Amita, Ananda Sangha is a spiritual NGO based on the teachings of the very well-known yoga master Paramhans Yogananda ji. He wrote this beautiful book, Autobiography of a Yogi, in 1946. And to this day, I'm told, different articles keep coming every now and then, which is the world's most selling spiritual autobiography. Well, this is the one. Also, this book has inspired many, many people. Yogananda ji was you might say, he initiated Mahatma Gandhi at Gandhiji's request in 1935. He wrote many wonderful teachings of yoga, meditation, of diet principles and such, which of course at his time research was not so far, to, you might say, corroborate those things. But over the years and decades, so much research has come to corroborate those teachings. And on one level, we don't need research, you might say, because you practice something and you feel good. You eat a certain kind of food, you feel good. So you might say, okay, it's kind of confirmed for me. But on the other hand, it does help for science and you might say spirituality or spiritual advice as much as possible to go hand in hand, because where's the harm in having proof? So through Ananda Sangha, we share the teachings, you might say, of Paramhans Yogananda ji. And what are those teachings? Well, they are very extensive, to be quite honest, because Yogananda would bring spirituality into every aspect of our lives. So we share his teachings of, which are very universal, by the way. He didn't invent them, he brought them together. Some aspects were unique. So yoga, meditation, Kriya Yoga, especially a pranayam. He is most well known for sharing most widely the teachings of Kriya Yoga. But then he brought education principles, which, by the way, Mahatma Gandhi and Rabindranath Tagore, I mean, they were all at the same time. They were contemporaries, and Yogananda had visited their schools. So he imbibed those principles. He added some of his own. He started a school. So we have schools, you might say, by the same extension, and communities. So our founder, Swami Kriyananda, who founded Ananda Sangha, he is known as the father of World Brotherhood communities. So anyway, we do that. So I personally, I'm overseeing the work, you might say, in Pune city. I'm also a trustee for Ananda Sangha India. And I try to play my role as a medical doctor as much as I can. But as you mentioned in the introduction, I am really happy if I and people out there, if we can prevent illnesses, which is most of the time the case, it's possible. Settings, you might say, and play that role. So that's what I do through Ananda Sangha in Pune.
Wonderful, lovely. And do you want to also tell us a little bit about your school, I mean the clinic that you have co-founded with your dear friend, I believe, doctor as well. And what exactly is this healthcare clinic about? And I believe you call it integrated healthcare clinic. So what is exactly the meaning of integrated healthcare?
In 2015, when I was traveling in the US, I met many doctors. It's something I just do. Actually, I call it a medical pilgrimage. When I go to different countries, I like to research beforehand. What is their modality? Who are the leading practitioners? What have they found? And I like to meet them, even if it's for a very small, you might say, time, and learn, what are they doing, and share what is my own little experience in this field. So I came back with this thought, this phrase, integrated healthcare, from that travel visit. I remember clearly. Then I shared it with my friend, Dr. Amit Agarwal, who is a physician also based out of Pune. And we both were till that time anyways doing these corporate workshops, meditation classes, yoga classes. But around that time, we said, it's time to formalize what we are doing. And we called this little company Living Wisely. And before that, by the way, I had a rural clinic outside of Pune by the name of Ananda Clinic, and I would go to many different villages, about 16 villages. I would go on foot, I would go on bike, later I would go on ambulance. Then I had my own clinic, so people would come to me. So at the heart of, you might say, the philosophy of living wisely, as I hope the name suggests, is why let's be wise. You might say, what does it mean to be wise in our living? I learned a lot when I saw untimely deaths and suffering in hospitals. Basically, during my training, I would say, this could be avoided. Why did this person have to drink alcohol and drive? Why did this person had to not drink water so that he or she had so many kidney stones? And on the list goes. So Dr. Amit and I had these discussions, and we said, let's simply call our company Living Wisely. And that conveys. So again, what is integrated healthcare? Well, a lifestyle where you're of course keeping the body healthy, because if the body is not healthy, it's hard to go to sleep, it's hard to work, it's hard to focus on things. So of course, the body should reflect one's health, but then also the mind. And I don't have to explain this any further. This pandemic has exposed that lacuna in our healthcare, you might say, in our lives, in our schooling education also, that People may have a very strong body, but are they mentally resilient? Are they happy? Are they creative? So anyway, we put that component in there. So it's body, it's mind, and honestly, it's also soul. Because what did I learn when I saw somebody die? Well, to some people at least, the question comes, what's going on over here? This person was just moving, just trying to say something, and in a moment they are gone. So honestly, I have explored and read to quite a degree what the yoga masters, the saints of different religions and cultures have said about not just life and living, but also about death. And of course, I have no personal experience on a deep level, but I like to enlighten people. Just 2 days ago, I was inviting somebody for this conference, and this gentleman, this doctor, is from Silicon Valley, and he works with people, especially 90% of his patients are those who have cancer. And I said, so please tell me, what do you do? I had read through some of his website, and he said, of course, there is the medical side of it. What nutrients should you get? What vitamins you may need? And how do you work with your medical oncologist? But he said, then how can we accept the diagnosis in the first place? On a mental level, on a body level, okay, if I really don't have time, should I die with a cry on my face? Or can I accept it and die with a smile on my face? And again, explore what might be perhaps ahead in the journey after death. So again, this may seem a bit unscientific to some, but to, I think, many people, it becomes very important, especially when they have seen anybody leave their body. So anyway, for me, body, mind, and spirit, that's what I would say integrated healthcare is. Also, each patient is unique. So sometimes I don't even touch, let's say, a medicine from allopathy if I know that the child can simply benefit from homeopathy or Ayurveda or naturopathy or yoga and meditation. So, and of course, I totally believe in the life-saving, capacity of allopathic medicine. I have been in emergency medicine for many years. I've been an emergency surgeon. But what is the right thing at the right moment for the right person? So having a discussion with the patient, letting them know the different options. And then again, what is the reality of the patient? You may be recommending running, but is the person motivated? Will they really do it? Or should we suggest something else? So integrated healthcare is also about choosing the right modality for each person.
Yeah. Do you feel that this kind of a modality is something we can introduce in mainstream hospitals? And because somewhere I feel that there is this balance of of the mind, which is somewhere, I think there are some hospitals that do have this kind of holistic way of looking at treating a patient, but generally it is just looked at in a very specialized way. You just look at the body and then what you need to treat. And so I'm just taking you a little away from what we were going to talk about, but if you can throw some light on that, it'll be really nice, because I think the spirit part and the mind part is something which I think I would like for you to speak a little more about. Yeah.
It is very important, honestly. And actually, I'm very blessed that it's personally also very intriguing. And like I said, it inspired me. Seeing human suffering and death made me ask those questions. Now, I think absolutely it should be, brought into mainstream medical care. And actually, the good news is it is coming. I think we all, can, let's say, going by our age, if you compare 20 years ago, the awareness of yoga and meditation to now, it is astronomical. If you speak of Ayurveda also, there's been a total resurgence. Actually, just last month, there was more of an integrative effort from the government side to bring Ayurveda and other modalities more in line with allopathy. And in this conference, by the way, which again I'll talk about, but this reminded me, we actually are going to have a doctor's room. And I've been making the presentation to many people, and they say, okay, these are the speakers, these are the topics. What is this doctor's room in this conference? Well, this doctor's room is a desire I and my friend Amit have had for a long time, that why don't we just get doctors of, again, let's say allopathy, Ayurveda, homeopathy, naturopathy, yoga, meditation, healing, prayer ministry. Let's all get together and let's just share what we do, how it has benefited our people. If somebody's done a research, wonderful. But we are kind of operating in silo, and then we cry, oh, there's no cure for this problem in my medicine. Well, maybe the other person has a cure. Maybe it's at least better. So why not be open and exchange? So the doctor's room is basically for that. Coming back to mainstream medicine, now yoga and meditation departments are opening up.
Right.
Our keynote talk for this weekend program will be by Dr. Dean Ornish, who in the past he's been the advisor of health to the Barack Obama administration, and before that to Bill Clinton, President Bill Clinton. He's an American based out of San Francisco. Also, he in his best-selling book, and friends, if you're watching this, please write this down, Reversing Heart Disease. It's a New York Times bestseller for many, many decades. And basically in the mid-1970s, he showed through proper research how by following diet, exercise, stress management, let's say through meditation, yoga, or proper sleep, and relationships, keeping a heart open, he showed scientifically through amazing studies that even blocked coronary arteries can be reversed. But let's ask the question, is it known in mainstream media? No. Was I taught that in medical school? No. However, in the last decade, a hospital in Pune has opened a whole department based on Dr. Dean Ornish's approach in their department of cardiology. So I would say it's going in a positive direction. It could, yes, certainly go faster, which is also exactly why you might say we are having this discussion that, okay, it's very good to have latest research and angioplasty and many other things. And, let's have more of those, even better and more. But if we have something which everybody can do at home, oh my goodness, how many lives could be saved? How much cost could be saved? How many more happy faces and families we would see? And how much more confidence that would come? After all, it's your body. We often treat this as, a vehicle. And you say, well, I bought the car, but I don't know much about the engine. Well, no, just very little. And then you can take care of your heart and your digestive system and your brain and your spine and your posture. You can take care of all those things by very little knowledge.
Sure.
So I hope it comes more in mainstream.
I think we must. I like that the idea of the doctor's room. I think it's going to be a hit.
Let's get together. Let's get a cup of tea. Let's talk about this. Let's learn. And why not?
Yeah. So I also wanted to ask you, what are the offerings you have at your Living Wisely clinic? What is it like? If my audiences want to, know about it in detail, could you just share a little more?
Absolutely.
The offerings you have.
For example, we offer corporate workshops. Now, those are for corporates, but the same workshop could go anywhere. I mean, I'm very happy in the last couple days, we got an invitation from the Indian Army in Pune. A major institute approached us. It was actually a first time such a request came. They said, we want our priests of different denominations to actually attend a scientific meditation program where they have their own deeper experience, and then they could share it with others. But we have also in the past done wellness workshops again for Indian Army on a physical level, mental health, emotional health. The same we do for corporates. We work with Tatas and quite a few others in Pune through Living Wisely. We also, for example, offer a one-on-one consultation. Now, of course, before the pandemic, it used to be in person. Sometimes if somebody's really far, it would be online. But now everything has gone online. And I tell you, Amita, yes, if somebody's very serious, they absolutely need to maybe go to the emergency. They need to see a doctor in the hospital in person. But so many problems. It's like even before you outwardly manifest an illness, let's just talk about being overweight. And again, last week, this fellow called, he's now joining college in the US and he's about to fly. And he said, oh my goodness, I have lost 6 kgs. just by skipping dinner the way I used to eat dinner after doing a course. So we have recorded classes and courses about this. We believe a lot in one-on-one consultations and guidance. So yeah, you might say we do health workshops, we do corporate stress management workshops, leadership workshops, because leadership is a lot about, of course, efficiency, but handling a team can sometimes be a stressful factor in itself. So how do you remain calm? How do you inspire others? Again, and here's the thing, stress management. At the outset, it looks like, okay, I'm going to stop this, this, and this so that stress doesn't reach me. But let's be honest. Very soon one realizes that you actually have to strengthen yourself physically, mentally, emotionally. And when you're strong, to that degree, outside factors do not affect you as much. So that is at the heart of our philosophy, that how can we empower and strengthen our, students through the.
Wonderful, wonderful. And also, if I had to ask you, because you've been working with corporates for some time now, do you feel that corporates are open? I know this is a bit of a trick question, but do you feel that they are open? Because I've had some experience handling corporate programs as well. So I'm coming from that space. And do you feel that they are open to taking on these kind of wellness programs for their employees? Does it come easily? And also, do you feel that these programs, are they successful? I mean, what is your success rate, or the other way around? Do you find that they are not that successful because they are not sustained by the organizations? And then how do you, ensure that they are sustained? So can you share a little bit about your view on that?
Absolutely, Amita. So I think, again, just like I said about the hospitals and people's general perception about yoga, meditation, lifestyle illnesses, I would say absolutely. The trend is increasing. Corporates are more and more open with health. Actually, Dr. Amit and myself, we being doctors, you might say it comes a little easily also. I mean, yes. I don't know. For example, over the years, I've never had to go out and, request a corporate to give us a class. It goes by word of mouth so far. And that's why I said in the beginning, Livingwise is a small initiative. Just today, for example, somebody reached out from Noida and they said, I just looked up a meditation and what was it? Corporate meditation course. And she says, your name came up. So because I was curious, how did somebody from Noida call us? And then I looked up and I said, oh, that's true. We are second in the list somehow. So anyway, they are open. People do find out about us, by word of mouth. When we do make a presentation, you see there are statistics now, fortunately. We don't have to convince too much.
Yeah.
If people meditate, if your people are eating the right kind of food, if they're sitting properly, I mean, trust me, I sometimes smile at myself. And I want to say anybody out there who's hearing this, about especially this class, but also about the retreat that is coming. It's a 4-day program. I tell you, anybody who's gone past 9th grade should be attending this program, because we are going to talk about how if you sit properly, it affects your breathing.
Right.
If you run properly, how it affects your digestion and thinking and your prefrontal lobe. I mean, these kinds of, it could be really just 1 or 2 classes that are offered in school, and kids will say it's not under, you might say directly under biology that you're studying anatomy and physiology. You're studying simply how your body is healthy by sitting properly, breathing properly, eating properly, sleeping properly. So yes, Amita, we do share this in the corporates, and there is more and more openness. Yes, they do ask for results to come, and half of our time, let's say it's a 1-hour workshop, we tell people, and I remember the first time we got a big breakthrough with a major corporate in India, they gave us the last slot at the end of a 5-day program. It was 6 to 7 p.m. And of course, I said yes to it. When I found out what was really going on, how long they were there, they said, oh, it's the last day and tomorrow we go back home, and we've had day-long sessions. And I was like, oh my goodness, they
Yeah.
won't want another session now. And somehow I braced myself, and now Dr. Amit was with me, and we went into the workshop, and I changed the whole format. Instead of talking and experiencing things, I said, let's stand up and experience a few things. Then I'll explain to you what's happening in your brain when you do this, in your heart, in your breathing, in your diaphragm, and in your spine. I tell you, since that day, we have always asked for an end of day session. We have always insisted that these are experiential classes. And actually, I heard from the consultant who had invited us, he said months later, people remembered across many sessions that happened, they come and go. They said, can we get those 2 doctors back? Because we felt good. And you see, that's what a company, that's what an employer is looking for. Do I feel good? Does this really make a difference? And of course, if you do it for a longer period of time, you'll be more and more healthy, because let's face it, one day's meditation or running or exercise will give you a feel-good factor, but you have to do it for a few weeks or months
to be sustained,
to become. So we offer sustaining programs also. We offer, by the way, I've told people over the years that I'm surprised in all these years. I've always told people, stay in touch, give us a call anytime. And only a few people have come back. I hope our workshops were good enough. They had told us they're good, but I just tell people, I said, see, today health may not be a priority for you.
Right.
But I pray everybody stays healthy, but human nature being what it is, sometimes people go through a rough patch and then they say, oh, I was told by someone I could avoid a heart attack, or I could avoid blood pressure to quite a degree, or sugar or pre-diabetes, things like that. So I tell people, whenever, for whoever, if it's your reality, we'll be here to help you. We'll be here to counsel and consult you, because that's where the joy for a doctor comes from. You see people who are healthy. In ancient China, doctors were very well taken care of, given a house, a good salary and all, as long as people were healthy. The moment anybody fell ill, there was no salary. You had to do day and night shifts in the house of the patient till he or she recovered completely. So I'm maybe a soul from those times, that I feel that, let's prevent problems and all be happy.
Right. Great. So let's now come to the, to the big program that's coming up in January, which we want to talk about. And we are here to speak about the Recharge Health Retreat, which Ananda is doing from January 8th to the...
Oh, we made it January 7th because we have 45 speakers. Even till day before yesterday, I was inviting new speakers who are marvelous.
So the dates are now for 4 days, is it? Okay, so Jan 7th to Jan 11th are the dates.
10th.
2021.
7th, 8th, 9th and 10th.
Okay, Jan 7th to 10th. Okay, sorry. Jan 7th to 10th, 2021. And Aditya ji is going to tell us a little more about the programs and who they are for, and how they are going to drive them, and also a little bit about the speakers, the special experts that are coming on the panels. That will be nice to know about.
Thank you, Amita.
Yeah.
So friends, let me share actually the very first thought which led to this program. And the thought was, of course, a reality you and I, all of us understand. We are in the middle of a pandemic. Suddenly, health has become, the one theme everybody's thinking about. Of course, over 1 million people have lost their lives, and people are having questions about basic things like, their immunity or, their heart situation. Of course, nobody wants to go to the hospital, especially in these times. And then with mental wellness and all. So I remember, like I was telling you, Amita, about those medical pilgrimages that I've made over the years, that I just realized one day, hey, why don't I call all my doctor friends and contacts over the years who are spread out across the world? And because my interest was to, find a good naturopath, a homeopathic doctor, doctor in Chinese medicine, acupuncture, I basically did exactly that. I called them all And I'm very blessed with some good contacts who put us in touch with Dr. Dean Ornish, who, by the way, was a very good friend of my own teacher, Swami Kriyananda. But I had personally never met Dr. Dean Ornish. And Professor B.M. Hegde, Vice Chancellor of Nepal University in the past. So I just presented this idea to all of them. I started this exercise about 4 months ago that, dear doctor, we are trying to do this exercise and trying to create an event of integrated healthcare, which will go global, which is for everybody, which will be later translated in all the major languages in the world. For example, Spanish, Mandarin, Cantonese, Italian, Hindi, and such. Because we are based out of Pune, we are also gearing up to bring this out in Marathi 3-4 months after the program is done. So I just asked them, would you please participate and accept our invitation? And I have to say, 45 health experts from around the world have accepted that invitation. And friends, this is so nominally charged. So many people have asked me for a 4-day program where recordings will be given for close to 40 different talks. We are charging just 800 rupees as the early bird price. And people have said, why? I said, this should not be a deterrent for anybody, as an individual, as a student, as a senior citizen, the vulnerable group, unfortunately, in this pandemic, for anybody, anywhere in the world. So we are trying to reach out with this model, Amita. And who are the doctors? Well, I mentioned Dr. Dean Ornish, Professor B.M. Hegde, Dr. Andrew Newberg from Philadelphia. He's written this beautiful book, How God Changes Your Brain. I mean, for 14 years, he researched the MRI scans, functional MRI scans of people who meditate across religions, cultures, belief systems, and practices. And he found certain common positive factors in their brain. And he shared that in his book. Professor Satbir Singh Khalsa of the Harvard University. He is such a well-known professor world over for mental wellness and yoga. He has researched yoga and effects in addiction, in high schools, in general healthcare, among healthcare professionals, doctors, and of course, when those teachings are given to patients, what are the effects? Then we have, doctors from Australia who are going to speak about respiratory health. We have Dr. Donatella Caramia from Rome. She is a super specialist, in neurology with a specialization in musicology. What really happens to your brain when you listen to a certain kind of music? Now, you may say, well, who cares about that study? Well, let me mention a fact which we all are familiar with, but maybe we haven't thought about it. In your worst moods, you unfortunately listen to the worst kind of music. And you somehow feel it should help you. It's like falling ill, but not taking the proper medicine. So she's going to tell us why terrible music, and again, what is terrible music, really does damage to the brain and the organ systems, and how can we choose proper music, good music? What is the research behind it? So again, somebody like her. And then we have many other doctors from naturopathy who will talk about naturopathic oncology, the basic nutrients for our general health. Again, such a simple system, knowledge which we should be knowing, what a balanced diet, you might say, looks like in these times, and what can one do. So anyway, we have a doctor, very well-known doctor, Dr. Shah from China, from the Chinese medicine background, and he'll be sharing on those practices. We have yoga experts, Dr. Michelle, who is coming from, again, California, Mr. Gyandev, who is coming from the World Yoga Alliance. He's a co-founder of World Yoga Alliance. He'll talk about how yoga can help us in our health care and such. We have people who are leading worldwide healing ministries, music ministries worldwide, so they'll give a talk. We have spiritual leaders like Jyotish and Deviji, the directors of Ananda Sangha worldwide. They'll be talking about topics like bereavement, death. How do you handle those things? Because let's face it, friends, we have to some or the other day. Yes, nobody likes to start their day by thinking of death, but it's one of those things we will sooner or later encounter. Why not simply develop familiarity with it? What on earth is death? And what shall we do when we meet? So again, let's hear it from the wise ones, you might say, who've practiced some of these teachings for 5 decades in this case. So anyway, there's a whole spectrum, and I'll give you the details, Amita, in the link below.
Wow, it's just amazing. I don't know, the names that you've rattled off are just, it sounds such an exciting 4 days of so much of knowledge, and I think
let me share this one.
Really
this one will be of particular interest to corporate trainers and leaders. We have invited Mr. David and his wife Karen Gameau. They are from, again, Silicon Valley. For the last 30 years, they've run this institute called Clarity Seminars. Very highly rated corporate trainers for stress management across the US and Canada. And they've given classes to like the San Francisco Police Department, NASA, Harvard Medical School and such. So they've agreed to do an hour session as part of this weekend. So again, I would really urge you, friends, 4 days in our life go by very quickly. Why not invest in these 4 days for your own health? Physical, mental, spiritual. Let's come with a certain openness to see, okay, what is this about? Maybe you'll take away some messages. So yes, there is a lot to offer. Please go on the landing page and check it out. If you have any questions, you can write back to us.
Right.
All right.
So Darren, my team member will post the links on the chat box. So those of you who are on the on our page just now, can please look at the links which are being shared, and you'll get more information about the program. And you don't want to miss this program, so please do share it with your organizations and with your friends, with your family members. You heard Dr. Aditya ji say it is for everybody. Anyone who's a teenager and above can attend it. So, and the price point is really something very, very reasonable. So do not miss it.
And honestly, there too, if you know somebody who is really in need of this program but doesn't have the ability to pay, I'm putting it out there. Please reach out and we will try to make it available free of charge to them, or for a subsidized cost. For students and senior citizens, anyways, there is a subsidized cost. Again, for group bookings, there is a cost. I mean, it takes money to promote and do an event on a global scale like this. But again, this is for you. This is for me, friends. This event is for everybody. I really ask for your participation to help spread the word.
I really wish you all the very best, Aditya ji. I hope it's a grand success, and we'll do our best to make sure that all our audiences and our patrons get to know about it. I also want to request Darren to please post the links that have been shared with us in the chat box, in the comments box, with the email ID, and there's a phone number as well. So if any of you have any more queries or questions regarding the program, please feel free to connect on those links and the numbers provided. We will also, before we complete this evening's conversation, I would like to request you all for any questions. If you all have any questions, we are okay to taking a couple of them. So Darren, I want you to please share any questions that may be coming up, or any comments that are there for us. And
so hi, I have already pinned the links, the info links. So anybody who's on our Facebook right now, they can see it as a pinned comment. Also, we have a lot of comments, not so many questions, but a lot of people who appreciate Dr. Gate and his thoughts today on our live. So a lot of people, so I'll just read a few. We've got Xenia Modi. She said, eagerly awaiting the health retreat. We also have a few people say, like Mona, she says that this is a very holistic thought of medicating as is need as is needed and not one size fits all. So we have a lot of positive comments. We have Ophelia who says this is brilliant. And so, yeah, but we don't really have any questions for now. But yeah, we'll wait perhaps for a minute or two for some questions. If not, I'll hand it over to Amita.
Yeah, if the audience has any questions, you all can post your questions for Aditya ji. And if you have any questions for me, you can post them as well. And if you don't have any questions, then I want you all to do share this beautiful conversation with your friends and your colleagues at work, and please do try and attend the workshop which is happening, I mean the retreat which is happening on in January from the 7th to the 10th. More details have been provided by Darren in the links provided below. Any questions, Darren?
Not yet. I feel we could just perhaps wind it up if everything is okay with you, ma'am.
Yes. So I want to take the opportunity to thank Aditya ji for being with us on this
thank you,
chat.
Darren.
It was wonderful having you here. Before we sign off, I want to ask you a personal question. I want to ask you if you would like to share any one memorable moment that you've had with Swami Kriyananda ji.
Well, I was about to start my clinic, and the formal one. Remember, I was saying earlier I used to go to different villages and all. And I was about to start the formal one, and he asked me a few things, about what were my thoughts, how much would I charge, how would I make it convenient for somebody who didn't have enough money to pay and all that. And then I asked him actually for some advice. I said, "Sir, please give me some advice." And he said a very beautiful thing. He said, "Be in bliss." And, he said, "Be in bliss when you're seeing patients, be joyful always." He said that way you will help them a lot. And it's an advice I've shared with other doctors. It reminded me of this line by the father of medicine, Hippocrates. He said, "Physician, heal thyself." That if your physician is not healthy, if he's, unhappy or whatever, what are we really sharing honestly? So I think we all need to, that's why I'm saying, take charge of your health and go from there. I remember Kriyananda ji sharing something because he asked me to do outreach. And I asked him, because he wrote 150 books on different subjects. So it was very diverse. So when he said, "I want you to do outreach," I said, "What aspect of it?" So I rattled out a few things. And he said, "Oh, no, just keep the teachings practical." And I remember it was just like that one line. So whenever I go, let's say before an audience, I meditate on that line. Okay, who is my audience? How can I make it practical? What is their need? And again, which is why, again, friends, we are doing this health event because it is a need in front of us today. Just 3 days ago, I was meeting somebody and I just asked them, I was seeing them after the lockdown, after many months. I said, "How are you? How's your family? How's your business?" He said, "If this year I can just be healthy, if my whole family can just be healthy, that's success for me." And I said, it's like somehow our priorities have become very simple, very straightforward, very clear. And I thought that should be the case always. If I can be healthy, if I can be happy, then everything else, we can take care of everything else. So yeah, I would say those two things: be happy,
Wonderful,
be practical,
wonderful.
and be blissful. Those were the things he shared.
So beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Anyway, so we'll finish this evening by saying thank you to the audience for participating with us. And it was wonderful to have you, Dr. Aditya ji, on our Helium Talks show. And we wish you all the very best for your Recharge Health retreat in the month of January. I hope and wish you a great amount of success, and also to all our participants who are going to participate in the program. I'm sure you all are going to find it really beautiful. So do sign in and do participate.
And registrations are
And
open.
register, yeah, and register and participate.
Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Darren.
you, and
Thank
good
you.
evening to everybody, and namaste.
Very much.
All right,
Good day.
guys. Thank you so much. Namaste. Be
Thank you,
signing off.
Darren.
Bye-bye.
Bye.